Well, well, well. Oh my goodness gracious. Another shocking Nuggets performance. I came on here after, I just had to come on. I came on here after an unbelievable game one in which the Thunder just absolutely let that one get away. Um, they got, they struck back with furious vengeance in game two, absolutely obliterated the Nuggets. Looked like the series was absolutely and undeniably going to be over. And it was, what could I say? It was not going well tonight at all for the vast majority of that game, specifically not from Nikola Jokic. One of the worst games I've seen, at least from a shooting standpoint from him. This team just has such an immense amount of heart and grit and tenacity. I really just have, there's no quantifiable or describable way in reality that can explain how the Denver Nuggets have won 2 of the 3 games played in this series. The Thunder are exponentially better than the Denver Nuggets in every quantifiable, imaginable way on a basketball court. This should absolutely be headed to a 4-0 clean sweep on Sunday. And yet somehow the Denver Nuggets pull out another absolute stunner in overtime. They destroy the Oklahoma City Thunder, in fact, in overtime, 11-2 in the 5-minute extra session there for the 113-104 win. This was an absolute team effort on both sides of the ball. Tremendous defense and heart on that side by a Nuggets team, which was thoroughly humiliated in game 2. And they came out and they played with that kind of an energy and an effort tonight. Guys, we're here, by the way, welcome in on SCAP Live After Dark. I, of course, am your host, SCAP, coming to you live here in the aftermath here of an absolutely astonishing, stunning game by the Denver Nuggets. It is 1:15 a.m. on the East Coast. If you are joining us here, welcome in to SCAP Live After Dark. We've got moderator Gary on hand, as always. Looks like we've got the chat is already lighting up here. Lots of people on. We've got nearly 500 people here in the chat at the moment. So welcome to all of you. We're going to be unpacking this game. We can talk about the Eastern Conference game as well. I am just still kind of reeling and shocked by what the hell I just witnessed. I've been talking a lot of shit on the Denver Nuggets and on their putrid supporting cast for 2 years, mainly because I have this disgusting, terrible taste in my mouth from the series last year in which they lost, the Minnesota Timberwolves series, where they got boat race in the first 2 games at home, fought back, won 3 straight games, lost by 45 in game 6, came back in game 7, took a 20-point lead, and crumbled at home. Jokic in that series, I thought, was magnificent. When you look at the defense, the way they were keyed in there, all of the pieces that Minnesota had to work with against Jokic, he got absolutely no help from anybody on that roster, by and large, for the entire series last year against Minnesota. What I'm seeing out of this Denver Nuggets team right now, though, is a completely different team, a completely dialed in and focused team, and a team resolute with one mission to make this season mean something. Because Jokic has been historically excellent this year, and they were trending in the worst of worst ways to end the season. They lost 4 straight games a week before the playoffs began, which resulted in ownership firing the head coach and general manager. It looked like the Nuggets were headed for an early first-round loss, and now here we are about 3-4 weeks after those firings took place, after that 4-game losing streak took place, and now this team is somehow, just through moxie and guts, stringing it all together and fighting their asses off and scrapping against what is a team that I said before to open this show should be on the verge of sweeping this team. But the Nuggets are doing everything that they lacked last year. They're showing all the things that they failed to do last year. A team that just mailed it in and quit last year around its all-star, everything, Nikola Jokic, in that Minnesota series in the semis last year. It's the exact antithesis of that this year. This is a team that is showing up, supporting him, and giving him massive contributions from the top on down. And I'm just giddied with excitement by how hard this team is playing, because they are completely outmatched from a team standpoint, from a personnel standpoint. And yet somehow, some way, they're standing up now. They're 2 wins away from literally, this would be an absolute shock. This would be one of the biggest shocking outcomes of my basketball lifetime, watching religiously for 30 years. You know, I can count on one hand the amount of series that will shock me more than this series has, if the Nuggets can find a way to string together two more games to get 2 more wins. Guys, welcome to Scap Live, and many thanks. We are now over 800 people in here. Many thanks for joining us here. Gary, welcome into you, my friend.
Yes, sir. I got so many conflicting thoughts right now. As you know, you and I have been arguing for a year now over the quality play of the Denver Nuggets team overall. And even in here, we've gone back and forth to some confusion from some people in the chat being like, whoa, they're arguing, they're going at it, not knowing we've been doing this for a year. I got to tell you something. This is going to shock you in a way, because you and I are kind of flip-flopping a little bit here. Not totally, but just a little bit. And let me say why. Because you are acknowledging, just from the emotion of tonight's game, how good this team can be. But let me tell you this. I'm starting to come around a little bit to your side that you've been telling me for a year about the team not being good. And I just really was meditating on everything over the last few days. And I remember when Jordan retired in 93, and the Bulls still made the playoffs. They didn't go far, but I believe they took the Knicks to 7 games, which is a feat, because the Knicks took the Rockets to 7 games in the finals. So they lost to like the second or third best team in the entire league and went to 7 games. But so you take Jordan away from the Bulls, they're still a pretty decent team. If you take Jokic away, and this is your whole point, you take Jokic away from the Nuggets, they're going to be a bottom 5 team in the entire league. They're not even sniffing the play-in. They're not sniffing the playoffs. I'm starting to come around, but then it's also what I've been telling you. It's not so much that they're so good. The reason I love them is not necessarily because they're good and consistent, which we know they're not. It's because of their heart. And that's what we saw tonight. And what frustrates me so much, has even got me bordering being emotional about this, is just how good they can be at times. And why can't you just put this together? Jokic had the worst game of the season. The worst game of the season.
Gary, I'm just let me jump in real quick. It's the worst game I've ever seen him play. I've been watching Nikola Jokic play basketball now, I will say this. He has done other things. Like people have been spouting off all year, shooting their damn mouths off, saying ridiculous shit. People, quite frankly, that don't watch these games. People, quite frankly, that barely watch Nikola Jokic play, calling him the worst center defensively in the NBA. Right. Or like the worst defensive player in the NBA. This guy is so badly underrated on defense. Like, I've been saying he's not a great defender. This guy is a good defender. He is a solid to above average defender at this point, is something that I would say. And by the way, I don't complain about officiating, Gary, but let me just say that I still, the way that Jokic is being officiated in this series, you know what? I say all the time I don't complain about officiating, and I typically don't, but I am going to complain in this sense.
Once in a while. Right.
Because the way Jokic has been officiated for now 3 straight games is appalling. This dude is getting beat to absolute hell and getting called for like offensive fouls when he's trying to like basically retaliate and play the physical game that they're trying to allow the Thunder to play against him. So he's obviously out of sorts from an offensive efficiency standpoint. The guy is basically the most efficient offensive player in NBA history, and it's back-to-back bad shooting nights for him. So, but he is still doing other things, and he still is usurping the lion's share of all of the defensive responsibility and energy and effort and focus from the Thunder. So even look, I would compare Nikola Jokic like Randy Moss, Gary. I know you're a big football guy. Were you a big Randy Moss fan, Gary?
Love him. Greatest receiver of all time.
Well, I still would probably say, just from a totality of resume standpoint, I'd go with
greatest talented receiver. Jerry
right.
Rice.
I'd say Jerry Rice, like total package.
Right. One and Ross talent-wise too.
But on field product, like to me, Randy Moss was like the most dangerous, not just wide receiver, but most lethal football weapon offensively ever. So Randy Moss could not catch a single pass all game. And he still was the most impactful player on the field because he took all of the attention away from the rest. He opened everything else up. So even with Jokic struggling with his shot mightily, he is still inflicting so much pressure on that other team. I think, Gary, just to echo your point, though, on what you were talking about, you and I have been going back and forth. You have been trying to stick up for this supporting cast. I think the supporting cast is nowhere near as talented as other supporting casts in the NBA.
Right.
Like if you stack them up against the Cavaliers, the Celtics, the Thunder, the Timberwolves, like even the Warriors, this team pales in comparison to the talent around Nikola Jokic from what those other great players have. But they do have heart. They showed it in 2023, which is why it was so disappointing last year when they just shriveled and shrank and disappeared against Minnesota. And then, Gary, they did it all year. So this is what I was expecting coming into the playoffs. Like they showed me what they were last year in the playoffs. They then carried it over all season, like playing just terrible supporting basketball around Nikola Jokic all year. So of course I was expecting that coming into the playoffs, but like they have shown the heart, the grit. And here's the other thing, which you and I have also gone back and forth on, and you've been telling me there's something to the level of consistency that comes from keeping this core of players together for the length of time that they've played together for, right? Like I kind of liken them to a team like in college, right? March Madness rolls around.
Right.
Every year we see the blue chip recruit kids that come in on some super team, blue blood of starting five of mostly under younger kids, freshmen and sophomore underclass kids. And somehow, some way, they always get tripped up, right? Most of the time, 9 times out of 10, by some older, veteran, more experienced group of kids that have been together for 4 years, where it means more to them. They have more consistency with playing each other, more understanding, playing in these moments, and somehow their level of consistency and desire always trumps the talent and the youth, right? Typically in college basketball. That is what this series, watching this unfold right now, is reminiscent of to me. This is a team that should have lost in 4 or 5 in Denver. And I still think they're probably going to lose in 7. Like I still think the Thunder are going to get back next on Sunday, next game, even it up and take it back. It's a best of 3. 2 of the games are in Oklahoma City. They're by far the superior team. But just the fact that this team, just like against Minnesota, I guess last year, just the fact they're going to get it into a game 7 is just a testament of the will and desire and heart of this team, and also just how great Nikola Jokic is. The fact that we're maybe going to see a game 7 in this series, which frankly we saw in game 2. The talent discrepancy, right? Like the 2 games the Nuggets have won, let's call a spade here, Gary. They were down 14 in the second half in game 1. And then they were down mostly all game, not by double digits or anything crazy in this game, but they were down pretty much the whole game by like 3, 7, 8 points the whole time. They just found a way to get it close in the later stages of games 1 and 3 and just let their desire and their veteran like moxie and know-how win the day for them. But in the game they lost, they got absolutely eviscerated in like an all-time playoff curb stomping beatdown. Like that's the real talent discrepancy. Like the Nuggets are just finding a way through smoke and mirrors and pulling rabbits out of hats right now to be up 2-1. The Thunder are easily the better team. They've been the better team for the vast majority of the series, just like, though, Gary, may I add, The Lakers were the better team than the Nuggets, though. The 2 times they played them in the last 2 seasons, right? In the Western Conference Finals in 23 and last year in the first round, the Lakers led those series like 70% of the games, but they just couldn't close the games. Like, this is just what the Nuggets do. Now, will the Thunder continue through their own inconsistency and pretty much choking ways? I think you got to call it the way it is. Will they find a way to allow the Nuggets to stay in these games to be able to steal them late? I don't know. Only time will tell, obviously. But this, Gary, right here is an undeniable shocker. You know, I've been going back and forth. I think tonight, honestly, I had a little more faith than you. I think I had a little more hope than you. Like you said, we're doing some role reversals.
Yeah.
You're kind of reversing. You're switching the way you feel about the supporting cast. I'm kind of feeling a little more positive about them now because of the heart that they're displaying, at least. Look, there's no shame in just being not as good. There's no shame in just getting outplayed by a better team. But like last year against Minnesota, they just quit. They just gave up, everyone but Jokic, basically, for the vast majority of the series. This year, they're going down swinging, and I can at least admire that, even if there's a talent discrepancy. But also tonight, I had hope. Like, I went into tonight's game actually thinking they were going to win this game somehow. I got the sense that you really didn't think that like they had much of a chance. But here we are, Gary. The smoke has cleared. The dust has settled. Welcome in, everybody. We are we're over 1,000 people now here on Scap Live After Dark, following this absolute miraculous and almost inexplicable series right now that the Denver Nuggets are showing us right now. I honestly am kind of at a loss for words, Gary. And I do want to continue unpacking this insane, ridiculous series. We'll break down exactly what went down on the court in that one. But I do just want to give a quick shout out here to the Cleveland Cavaliers, who dropped 2 straight games at home, obviously amid some pretty bad injury situations for them. They were without Darius Garland for the first game. Then they were without Garland and Mobley and Hunter for games 2. All 3 of those players were back on the road tonight in Indiana. And lo and behold, guess what? When the Cavaliers got their full complement of players back, they destroyed Indiana. They win by over 20 points, 126-104. They're back in the series now. Obviously, for it to mean anything, they have to go and take the next game as well, get that back to a 2-2. But shout out to the Cleveland Cavaliers tonight for doing what they had to do, getting the job done once they got their players back. And shout out to Donovan Mitchell. This guy is playing absolute incredible next level basketball in my estimation, moderator Gary and people out in the live chat. I mean, the performance he laid down last, the heroic performance he put down with missing the 3 key players, 2 key starters like Darius Garland, key player, basically runs their offense. And then Evan Mobley is the defensive player of the year. Both those guys, like 18 plus point per game scores. Then you get Hunter, one of their principal bench players, who's about a 15 point per game score. They were without 55 points almost out of their lineup last game. And Mitchell just did everything he could to get that game over the hump. Didn't get it done last game. Showed up on the road tonight. Massive. Another big game. 43 points for him. 14 of 29. 9 rebounds. 5 assists. And how's a plus 35 strike, you guys? How is that any good? They were plus 35 when Donovan Mitchell was on the floor tonight. So Spida Mitchell getting it done in the biggest of situations there. So the Cavaliers, they're back. They're alive. We can dig into that series a bit more too if you guys want. But Gary, I think I definitely want to stay on this just absolute miracle win again by the Denver Nuggets. Is there some questions maybe we should answer first though? Should we get some? I think I see some super chats here. Should we answer a couple questions, and then I do want to get back into some. I want to look through kind of the box score and just see some of the things, some of the major points I think that are sticking out in that one. I mentioned it leading in. I've mentioned it a couple times. Jokic, of course, with like the worst shooting game and the worst, efficiency game perhaps of his entire career. He missed 10 3-pointers. He did 0 of 10 from the 3-point line, 8 of 25 for the game. Just a miraculously inefficient game for Jokic, who is arguably the most efficient player that I've ever seen play, quite frankly. He does somehow find a way to get to 20 points, 16 rebounds, 6 assists, but also, 8 turnovers from him. He has been turning the ball over quite a bit in this series. This wasn't new tonight. The Thunder, listen, I just have to take my cap off to the Thunder. It's not like Nikola Jokic is choking in this series. The Thunder are just, I said before the season, they were going to be a historically great defensive team this year. That when they were already a great defensive team last year, and they added Isaiah Hartenstein and Alex Caruso, who were 2 top 3 net rated defensive positional players last year. You throw them in the mix with this team, with how good they were on defense last year. It is absolutely frightening, like all year watching the build up to the playoffs, of how good this team has been. They've been killing everybody. So the 43-point win last game really shouldn't have come as much of a surprise. Look what they did to Memphis in the series before. They won by 51 points in a game where SGA was 4 of 14 for 15 points. Like, this is what they've done all year. They set the all-time NBA record in total differential. They obliterated that record by over a half of a point, beating a record that was over, I think it was 53 years old. The 71 Milwaukee Bucks, the 72 Lakers were the second team on that. So, like, the teams that were up there with this Thunder team in terms of net differential, which is how much they drubbed teams this year. Like, we haven't seen beatings by and large for a whole season in 50 plus years. And the Thunder beat those 2 teams by over half a point. So, like, it shouldn't be surprising what the Thunder have been doing to Jokic, because they have the 2 best net rated bigs in the league in Isaiah Hartenstein and Chet Holmgren. They're throwing them both on him. And then they have all of these jackals on the perimeter crashing down on him, just stripping all over him. They are doing an absolute masterful performance on Jokic. No team is positioned to play this well, probably maybe other than the Clippers, who Jokic got last round. So just a total team effort so far in this series to get this to a 2-1 point. I have to say, though, I've been saying Nikola Jokic should not play a great game tonight because he didn't. And we can talk about the supporting cast players and the supporting efforts that Nikola Jokic got here in a couple minutes. But I do have to say, guess what, Gary? Shai Gilgeous-Alexander didn't play a very good game either.
Nope.
So, Jokic was very inefficient tonight. So was SGA, a guy who from the perimeter shoots 50% plus. He did last year. He did this year. He was 7 of 22 tonight, was SGA, for only 18 points. And look, this team, they had every chance down the stretch to win this game. And then they go into overtime and lose it 11-2 in overtime. I'm sorry, that's on SGA. Like, SGA is the MVP. Like, if the Nuggets lost this game, Jokic would be getting massacred. Rightfully so. He is the best player, and he didn't play a good game tonight. But the Thunder, by and large, as a team, played by far a good enough game to win both games 1 and game 3, and Shai didn't get it done at the end. So you do have to find some criticism for Shai. We'll get back in. I do want to get back into some of the other elements of this game, Gary. But first, I think should we just get into some of these? We got some comments here I think we need to get into. Should we touch on a couple of these real quick?
Sure. Isaac here. Thank you for that. Just adding a comment, which is Drew David versus Goliath, real life cinema here. Yes, sir.
Absolutely, Isaac. I honestly don't really even know fully what to say. We've been talking for over 20 minutes here, but I'm still honestly speechless by not only tonight's game, just by the performance by the Nuggets overall. It doesn't look, you don't want to see a team absolutely show up, or I should say no show completely, and get just totally curb stomped and boat raced in game 2. But, they have been, every bit, they have shown every ounce of heart and effort in games 1 and 3. So, just kudos to the Denver Nuggets for what they've done to this point of this series. I am totally shocked. But Isaac, thank you very much for sliding into the Scap After Dark area here and sponsoring the show. We also have Road King Thor in. So Road King Thor, many thanks to you. A new person here in the Scap Live Lounge area. So thank you, Gary. What does Road King Thor have for us?
Let me clarify real quick. Did they make it official yet that who won the MVP? Has the trophy been presented yet, or is it still in the balance?
Well, Gary, look, it has not been officially announced
Okay,
yet.
so they haven't given a trophy to him yet, because they usually do that in like the second or third round.
They do it in the second round. It's historically always done in the second round at home in front of the fans. So obviously, look, Jokic won the MVP last year.
So
he got it in Game 5.
This is my point. Tonight's game settled who the MVP should be between SGA and Jokic. Clearly, the MVP should be Donovan Mitchell. So how about that? Let's just give the MVP to Donovan Mitchell.
I mean, you can make a case. Donovan Mitchell's been the most valuable player of these playoffs to this point. But Road King Thor, obviously. I mean, maybe he hasn't been here the whole time, Road King Thor. If so, thank you for the sponsorship here, and thank you for sliding into Scap Live After Dark. But maybe he hasn't heard what I've been talking about, because I've been acknowledging the supporting cast. But go ahead and read Road King Thor.
Yeah, Jokic and SGA, and this is what I said earlier too, had a dog shit off, while the Nuggets starters, Scap hates, outdueled the scrappy Thunder Pups.
Right. And I've been mentioning this, Road King Thor, that the reason I hate them is because, and I still probably will hate them even after the series, because they're probably going to lose this series still in 7.
Yep.
And had they played like this last year, they would have won back-to-back championships. Jokic would have a second championship already had they played like this last year, because this Thunder team is way better.
Hobbled in last year's round against Minnesota. He even against the Lakers he was, so that limited him a bit, and they almost won. They barely lost Game 7. If he had been healthy, I think they still would have won that series.
And even still, we're talking about supporting cast for supporting cast. I mean, Aaron Gordon had 22, 7 of 11. I said I wanted to get into the supporting cast. Michael Porter Jr. actually probably his best game of the playoffs, just when they needed it. He has been absolutely terrible the first 2 games of the series. He came up big, of course, 21 points, 7 of 10. And then Jamal Murray with a big game. There's no doubt about it. 27 points on 9 of 19. But that's pretty much it. Christian Brown, 8 points, 3 of 8. Peyton Watson in only 17 minutes off the bench, 7 points. And Russell Westbrook in 22 minutes off the bench, only 8 points. So it really was just the core 4 of Aaron Gordon, Michael Porter Jr., Nikola Jokic, and Jamal Murray. Conversely, on the other end, for the Thunder, I mean, Chet Holmgren had a decent game. He had 18 points, 16 rebounds tonight for Chet Holmgren. And Jalen Williams, who had a terrible game, Game 1, was back in Game 2, obviously, as was all of the Thunder, so no surprise there. But Jalen Williams with 32 points tonight on 11 of 21 from the field. So I don't necessarily want to hear about like a lack of supporting cast for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander when you're getting 18 and 16 from Chet Holmgren and 32 on 11 of 21 shooting from Jalen Williams. I mean, and and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander rather is sitting there with 18 points on 7 of 22 shooting. So yes, both Jokic and Shai, admittedly, I've been saying both with bad games, but Shai has a much, much easier margin here. I mean, the degree of difficulty for Shai is substantially lower. With all due respect, the Nuggets are playing so hard and so scrappily right now on defense, and they really have been since they fired Michael Malone, to be quite perfectly frank. But the fact that essentially Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is going against Christian Brown on the other end, and or like Jamal Murray in some situations, whereas Nikola Jokic is going literally against the 2 best defensive bigs in the world, other than Victor Wembanyama, the 2 best defensive rated bigs on the planet, on the same team. That's what Nikola Jokic's degree of difficulty is, whereas Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is playing against Christian Brown and Jamal Murray. Like, get the hell out of here. And his team from top to bottom is much better. So the degree of difficulty for Jokic is a lot higher. And therefore, the expectations should be a lot higher on this year's league MVP in Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Gary, he will. It's not official, but he has one. And he will be collecting that trophy in Game 5 at home, just like Nikola Jokic collected his in Game 5 at home last year in that Minnesota series. So, I mean, quite frankly, they're going to win that game. The Oklahoma City Thunder, I can guarantee you, are going to boat race again. Just it's going to be a Game 2 repeat in Game 5. Shai's going to get the MVP trophy, and that team is going to be pumping on all cylinders in front of the home court fans. So essentially, next game will decide the series. The outcome of Sunday's game on Mother's Day. Whoever wins that game will win this series. The Nuggets are going to need the 3-1 advantage, I think, because otherwise they're evened up 2-2, and they're going to go get obliterated in Game 5 when Shai collects that trophy. And then, who knows? We'll see if the Nuggets have yet another miraculous effort, team win kind of a performance in them to stave off elimination and get it into a 7th game. We'll see if that is the case. But I think whoever wins game 4 next game is going to ultimately win the series. So we'll see if this can keep up. I'd say Shai and Nikola Jokic are pretty much neutralizing each other to this point, and the Nuggets support has shown up. There's no doubt about that. But again, Road King Thor to try to make this some kind of a head-to-head comparison again. Nikola Jokic is playing against the 2 best rated defensive bigs on earth, whereas the league MVP, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, is playing against Christian Brown. So just keep that in mind. But thank you for the sponsorship, and thank you for sliding into Scap Live After Dark. We've got Karthik Shankar, who is a repeat member here in the Scap Live After Dark sponsorship area. So many thanks to you, Karthik. And Gary, what does Karthik have for us?
And I've been thinking something that goes right in line with this, and that is the reason that the only weakness OKC has, there's only one weakness, and they're going to get that rectified. And that's simply inexperience. And that plays to exactly what this person says. OKC can't win even when Jokic is 8 for 25. Nuggets in 5. Well, that'd be great, but yeah, I doubt that. If anything, at the best, I'm Nuggets in 6, probably
Correct.
more likely 7. 5 would be dang near impossible.
Yeah, thank you, Karthik. But I'm thinking, it's going to be Nuggets in 6, because they'll be up 3-1. They'll go back, lose that game 3-2, then come home and close it out in Game 6. And if they don't or can't, then they'll lose. I think the Thunder will win a Game 7 if it gets into that. We'll see. I do not see the Nuggets in 5. If the Nuggets win in Game 5, I don't know, start making suggestions in the live chat of things that I could come on here and do. To some crazy thing that I can do on here. I don't know, like eat my shoe or something on YouTube Live after if the Denver Nuggets win in 5 games. That would be absolutely shocking.
What's your least favorite food? Do you have a food that you hate?
Not really. I pretty much eat everything.
Okay, so we can't do that to you then.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll figure something out. Maybe people in the comment section here in the Scap Live After Dark Lounge can start making some suggestions of something I can do if the Nuggets win in 5, Karthik. But I don't see that coming. But thank you very much for coming in here and for supporting and sponsoring us. Pooh Bananas, how can I forget that handle? Another regular sponsor here.
Clearly, you're proving that you clearly do not have a grasp on the English language. It's clearly Pooh Bannons.
Oh, is it really?
Yes, it is. Can't you read, Scap?
You know what, Gary? I think, how your eyes sometimes just create what you think. Like it just you're right. It's Bannons. You're right. But my eyes are like showing me bananas for some reason. My eyes are like adding the extra A in there. Probably because like Pooh Bananas is just so funny to me. Pooh Bannons is like a little less funny to me, but still it has poo in it. So like I still like it because I just like poo and poop and stuff. Like it's funny. It's just funny words. So, but
they call
Bannons
Joker, and his last name's not spelled that, but they call him Joker because it's funnier.
Right.
So same thing here.
But Pooh Bannon's here. Sorry for slaughtering that. I've been calling you Pooh Bananas for like 5 days now. So sorry, Pooh Bannon's. And Gary, I'll read this one. He's basically just thanking me for staying up for the stream with Gary. Yes, my pleasure. And thank you guys for joining us. Gary, you as well. Thank you for joining us here. These are obviously late nights. If you are just joining us here in the Scap Live Lounge area, it is nearing 2 a.m. on the East Coast, which is where I happen to be right now on the East Coast in the US of A. So it is late. I do not get much sleep during these playoffs, but my pleasure to be on here with all of you guys. Many thanks to the roughly 1,000 people we've had in here for most of the half an hour we've been on to this point. So Pooh Bannon's, thank you. And again, sorry for slaughtering that handle for the last week.
Well, Pooh Bannon's, I don't speak for Scap. I'm not sorry, and I will continue to call you Pooh Bananas, just for the record. All right, so next we've got Xavier God. It's the battle of MJ's sons, Butler. Hold up now. Jimmy Butler's MJ. I don't know why they're saying Anthony Edwards is MJ's son. Clearly he's not. Jimmy Butler, they need to go on Maury Povich and get that settled, because there's serious speculation. Clearly we know Anthony Edwards is not related to MJ. There's a theory that Jimmy Butler may, in fact, it could totally be nothing, but Jimmy Butler and Michael Jordan strongly resemble one another. I've seen these pictures. I'm sure you've all seen them. They look nearly identical at times. There are expressions Butler makes. I'm like, that looks like MJ. I've even seen photos of Butler where at first glance, I actually thought it was Michael Jordan. No lie. So
yeah, I mean, I'm with you. And Xavier DeGod, he is also as a regular. So welcome back in, Xavier. Many thanks to you. And yeah, obviously we weren't really talking about that game, but we do have that game. I believe it is on that game. Plays tomorrow, game 3. You know, I really was unsurprised last night. I did not come. I broke my streak of the Scap Live Lounge at whatever 6 days last night. We did not come on last night because that game was just pretty much not intriguing to me whatsoever. I felt like I needed a night of sleep. But, you know, not a surprising outcome last night. The Timberwolves come back and destroy Golden State in game 2, a game they had to have after dropping game 1 at home. And, of course, Steph Curry is not going to be playing maybe for the rest of the series. He has a grade 1 hamstring strain. And, you know, that is a tricky injury. He's older. He runs a lot. There's a high probability of re-injury on it. And he has said, quote, "It is a gut punch, but he will not rush himself back." So to me, if I'm reading the tea leaves, it looks like potentially we might not be seeing Steph Curry for the rest of the series. And if that's the case, obviously huge advantage to Minnesota there. But Xavier DeGod, I will be watching. I'll be checking it out tomorrow, the battle of MJ's sons. But yeah, I'm with Gary. I don't know how Edwards gets slid in there. I think just maybe Edwards' game style, his gameplay is kind of reminiscent of MJ to some out there. So that's probably what Xavier is pointing out. But many thanks to you. We've got Nate O123 in. Many thanks to you. I do not recognize the handle. So Nate O, I think might be a new member here of the sponsorship area in the lounge. So many thanks to you, Nate. And Gary, what does Nate have for us?
If Joker can have a slow night and they get it done anyway, it's a good omen. Snub the man at your peril, voters. The basketball gods are watching.
Great point, Nato. Jokic was obviously robbed of his 4th league. At the time, it would have been his 3rd straight league MVP. Looking back, of course, we know it would have been 4 straight MVPs. Jokic was he had his 3rd MVP at the time stolen by the voters, stolen by an absolute. It was like a collusion, it was basically like this full-on collusion plan by ESPN and several other high-profile writers to just kind of steal the MVP away from Nikola Jokic, build some kind of a preposterous narrative for Joel Embiid that year, and of course the Denver Nuggets went out and won the NBA championship that year on the heels of that snubbery. So hopefully, Nato, from your fingertips to the basketball gods' ears, hopefully the basketball gods are watching, and Nikola Jokic will get sweet retribution like he did in 2023 when they stole one of his MVPs off. And it ends in 2023, or it ends this year like it did in 2023 with Jokic hoisting a much more valuable trophy, one that anyone would probably rather have than the MVP. I know Jokic would. The Larry O.B. Hopefully that's what this season has in store for him. But we are still a very, very, very long way away from that happening. But NATO, great point, and many thanks for the sponsorship drop. We do appreciate it. And we've got Soldier X in here next. Soldier X, many thanks to you. Gary, what does Soldier X have for us?
Who's waiting for Jokic to come out with the excuse he had a broken hand for the excuse of his poor shooting night? Denver versus Cavs in finals.
Well, Soldier X, that would be my dream scenario. I would absolutely love to see a Denver Cavs finals. Like, again, from your fingertips to the basketball gods' ears, I would be all over that. I'd be here for that for sure. I'm not waiting for that, Soldier X. I'm sure you're not either, because Nikola Jokic is the personification of class. This guy always puts his own hand up. Even when this guy is dropping 60-point triple-doubles and losing, he still is taking the blame for it, because he is an all-time great player, and that's what all-time great players should do. It's not for Nikola Jokic to come up with excuses. That's for people like me, right? Or people like the LeBron jock sniffers. It just so happens I have so many more excuses for Nikola Jokic, because because they're not excuses, they're reasons. When LeBron loses, they're excuses, because he has no reasons to lose. He has no credible or viable reasons why he shouldn't have won 7 or 8 championships throughout the course of his career. I have actual reasons why Nikola Jokic only has 1 to this point. But even though I'm the one out here, putting up for him all year, taking it on the chin through the thick and thin as he struggles, he is just pure class, pure greatness, and he would never take some just crappy, pathetic little excuse like the king of excuses, LeBron James, who, of course, is whining and crying about his knee like all over social media. It's absolutely nauseating. And then, guys, there's going to be a video tomorrow. I'm probably going to be up all damn night here after this, because I'm probably going to do a video on this. And then I want to do something on LeBron's most recent thing. I don't know if any of you saw it, but I'll just give it a quick mention, where he was on his Mind the Game podcast, I think. I'm not sure if it was that or not, but I know Steve Nash was the one that was interviewing him at the time. So I'm imagining that it was the Mind the Game, where LeBron said he's not losing any sleep being eliminated in the playoffs in the first round with Luka Doncic as his teammate, because, quote, well, there's 8 other guys on the floor. So, like, LeBron is the one that's blaming everybody else routinely. It's not me. Oh, it's not Jokic. I'm the one that sticks up for him. Jokic, of course. So, Soldier X, to your point, don't hold your breath on that. Jokic he'll take all the blame. And see, this is the great thing about Nikola Jokic and why he is class personified. He takes all the blame when they lose, and he gives out all the credit when they win. The exact antithesis of the fraud king, LeBron James. But thanks for coming in, Soldier X. We do appreciate you. And it is now nearly 2 a.m. on the East Coast, and we've got Joe in here. Joe, many thanks to you. Shout out to you for sliding into the SCAP Live After Dark Lounge here and sponsoring the show. I do appreciate you, Joe. Gary, what does Joe have for us here?
You're a legend, Scap. Thanks for staying up late. These streams are becoming my go-to for post-game coverage.
Joe, thank you so much for the kind words. It does mean a lot to me, as does your support. I do appreciate you coming in and for hanging out with us here for the last week or so in the SCAP Live After Dark Lounge. Joe, kudos to you. And next we have Mason in, who Mason is he's a repeater here in the SCAP Live After Dark area. So thank you, Mason, for your continued support. Gary, what does Mason have for us?
I wonder what Two Raw will say about his MVP tonight.
Yeah, great question. Yeah, there is a lot of Jokic disparagers out there, Jokic haters, and the Jokic haters in 2023 got behind Joel Embiid, who was not worthy. I think that it has become obvious and clear that he was not worthy and that he shouldn't have won that year. But really, in the aftermath, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is a tremendous player, an amazing young talent. And to me, it's in the mix. It's between him and Giannis in my book for the best player in the NBA, not named Nikola Jokic. So I don't want to make my support of Jokic go hand in hand with my criticisms of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, because he is an undeniable great player, and I think he is destined for a great Hall of Fame career. I mean, I think there's no doubt that barring some insanely unforeseen injury of some sort, and the guy is as durable as anybody, so I don't see that happening. He played, 79 games maybe this year. So the guy, he's just durable, and he's just so damn great on both sides of the ball. So I don't want to make this like a hate session for SGA, but look, the guy, he did not play a good game one. He scored points, shot inefficiently, and they were up, 14 points in the fourth quarter at one point. They were up 11 with 4 minutes to go. Like, that's just a game you have to get over the top if you're the league MVP. And then tonight, to be right there, to be leading the whole game, this obviously, I think this would have just crushed the soul of the Denver Nuggets. And they get it into an overtime session and get hit with that 11-2 overtime run by and Shai, 7 of 22 for 18. So, I think look, there's obvious criticisms on every great player when their team struggles and fails. There is on Nikola Jokic, despite the fact he is their be all and end all. Like, he has so much more responsibility, I think, than Shai. Because Shai is going to be, even if you say Shai shoulders a similar burden, maybe offensively, possibly, okay, but his defense, like, he's like the fourth or fifth best defender on his team, and their defense is historically great, and that defense keeps them in games no matter what because of how damn great that team is as a defensive unit. So the lift on offense isn't as strenuous. Like, Jokic, by and large, has to do this against defenses that are dug in against him, and his defense isn't really necessarily helping his cause very much most nights. So I think every guy is going to get criticism, every great player, when his team struggles. If the Oklahoma City Thunder do not win this series, to me, hell, if they lose in the playoffs, period, I said it coming in, this will be one of the worst choke jobs, in my estimation, of all time. I don't care that they're young, whatever. They are the number one rated team in NBA history from an SRS standpoint. They eclipsed the 95, 72 win Bulls in that category by a lot, by like half a point. That's a lot in the SRS category. They surpassed the Milwaukee Bucks record I mentioned earlier in total net differential by a lot, by like half a point in that category. They have 7 players rated in the top 70 overall in the NBA right now. They have the league MVP. Like this, they have last year's coach of the year. They have home court advantage. They won 68 games. If they lose, it goes down there to me with the 73-win Warriors not winning a title, and with, I would say, the Miami Heat's 2011 gag job not winning against the Dallas Mavericks in that epic, just historical, is like a Greek myth level pants crapping by LeBron James and the Heat in that series. This one would go right down with that. If they didn't win, period. Like, even to me, if they maybe a loss, like a 7-game loss to Boston, maybe might have been acceptable, but I don't even think that. If they lose to a team that fired its coach 6 days before the playoffs ended, this would be an undeniable choke of chokes, in my estimation. And Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is going to have to wear a good amount of that. So good question, Mason, and thank you. We have Jordan C. in with a very generous donation here to us in the SCAP Live Lounge sponsorship area. So Jordan C., shout out to you. Many thanks for coming in here and supporting us here. We just went over 2 a.m. on the East Coast, and we still have nearly 900 people here in the SCAP Live Lounge area. So many thanks to all of you guys staying out here. Gary, what does Jordan C. have for us tonight?
Quick note, SCAP, can you hear the thunder? It's thundering for me. Can you hear it or not?
I'm not hearing that thunder.
Okay, so just in case, if I happen to go out,
okay,
because of a thunderstorm, but hopefully we won't have that be an issue. All right, Jordan C., thank you for this generous 20 piece. We got to give Jamal Murray his flowers. And Scap and I have been going at this for a year. And I've got to say, this is what I've been telling Scap. But the fact of the matter is, this guy needs to turn in more consistent performances like this. He disappears too often. So, as Jordan C. says, we got to give Jamal Murray his flowers for the big plays he made in the clutch on both ends on the floor. Not only was he the team's leading scorer, his playmaking and defensive effort in the fourth and overtime was inspiring to watch.
There is no doubt that Jamal Murray has been big in this series and big in all the whole playoff run to this point. He is back to 2023 Jamal Murray form, which is shocking because he missed about 2 weeks to end the season. Like, I think he came back with maybe 2 or 3 games left, which coincided with the firing. So they fire Mike Malone and Calvin Booth. Then Jamal Murray comes back from like a 9 or 10 game absence and plays the last 3 games out. And they've been good since Murray returned. And Murray has been very, very good throughout these playoffs. Jordan C., my problem with Jamal Murray is he's not reliable. He's not consistent. And he's not there all the time when Jokic needs him again. As much as I love what I'm seeing from him and from them this season, it only kind of aggravates me even more because where the hell was this last year? Why couldn't Jamal Murray do this last year? You could say he was injured, fine, whatever. But I'll give him credit. Yes, I've been tipping my hat to him all playoff long. I don't mind doing that. If he played like this last year, they have 2 championships in a row right now. And just to remind you, Jordan C., and to remind Gary maybe, and to remind everybody out there in the chat, I just want to take a quick pause here and go back and look at all 7 games of last year's Minnesota series. In game 1, a loss at home. Jamal Murray was 6 of 14 for 17 points in game 1, and they lost a very close game. They lost a 7-point game in which it was basically a nip and tuck game the whole way. Jamal Murray in that game, again, 17 points on just 6 of 14 shooting. Then in game 2, a must win in my estimation when you're down 0-1 at home, Minnesota comes out and absolutely destroys Denver by 26 points, 106-80. In that game, in game 2, Jamal Murray was 3 of 18 for 8 points. So with their backs against the wall, facing a must-win situation as defending champions after losing a tight game 1 in which he played terribly in, he comes back with 8 points on 3 of 18 shooting. Just absolutely inexcusable, almost inexplainable.
He's injured. I'm more worried about his inconsistency in this playoff so far while he's healthy.
But he's always hurt though, Gary. That's like my
he hasn't been hurt so far this in 23. He was healthy, and he's pretty healthy now, I think, isn't he?
I don't know, Gary. He's
inconsistent even in this playoffs.
But I'm saying look, Jamal Murray still missed probably, I don't know for sure, but I'm guessing he missed about 15 to 20 games this year. Like, this is one of his most healthy seasons ever. Right. He still probably missed he played 67 games this year. He missed 15 games. And these are his games. Like, I don't know what has happened. Like, real talk here. I don't know what the hell happened to Jamal Murray after the first 3 years of his career, because he was very durable in the first 3 years. He played 82 games in his rookie year, then 81 games in his second year, and then 75 in his third season. So he's one of the most durable players in the NBA for his first 3 seasons. He missed 7 games in 3 years total, then 59 games, then 48 games. And he missed the whole season. So he missed 59 games, he played 59 games, played 48 games. So missed 30 games, then 40 games. Then he missed all 82 games and the playoffs in the 2021-2022 season. Then he played 65 games in 2022-2023. Now, he did have the huge playoff run in 2023 and was great, but he missed 17 games in the regular season that year. Then he comes back last year, missed 59. He played 59 games, so he missed another 20, 23, 24 games last year. and then was abysmal in the playoffs amid alleged injuries. And then, this year in a season where he's been more durable than he's been usually, only 67, so still missed 15, including the last, like I just mentioned, 2 weeks of the regular season just about. And that was just that was trending in a very bad way, Gary, because Michael Malone, right before he got fired, sat up in a press conference and was basically saying, well, I don't know. This is a weird one. Jamal Murray was day-to-day, and now he's not day-to-day anymore. So we hope we can get him back by the playoffs. Like, that was basically the last press conference Michael Malone had before he got fired was, oh, well, I hope he's healthy enough to maybe play in the playoffs. So, like, sorry for me not expecting him to be at his best, because I've seen him not be at his best when he's got all of these strange injuries percolating into the playoffs. Well, but he has been good in the playoffs right now. So, like, of course, Jordan C., when he plays good, I'm willing to give him his credit. And when he plays good, guess what? It's the one time he's played lights out in the playoffs, it was a championship for the Nuggets. So, like, I hope that Murray continues to prove my criticisms of him, my 2-year ongoing crusade against him. I hope he continues to prove me wrong. So I will gladly come on here and give him all the credit in the world if he keeps playing like this. So thank you, though, Jordan C.
I'm not so much critical of him last year against Minnesota because he's dealing with the injury. I'm more critical of him this year while he was healthy throughout the regular season, the times he was healthy, and being so inconsistent, because if he had been more consistent while healthy, Denver would have been a higher seed. They slipped in the standings because of his inconsistency. I don't fault a player for being injured. I fault a player for being inconsistent, and that's my problem with Murray. He can have a performance like this tonight while he's healthy, or he can be fully healthy in the next game and turn in another dud. That's what is so frustrating about him. And speaking of inconsistency, what about Michael Porter? Because we see tonight how good the Nuggets are when Porter makes some shots, but we see how bad they are when Porter lays a dud, which has been far too often throughout this season and in these playoffs. He finally shows up, and look at how they performed tonight. When Porter and Murray both were consistent, they even picked up the slack for the very, very, very extreme rarity of Jokic having a bad game.
Yeah, Gary, just to your point, again, if you are just joining us here on the Scap Live Lounge, we're talking Nuggets shocking win over the Thunder here, over 2 a.m. We're past 2 a.m. now on the East Coast. But if you are just joining us, or if you're still here, many thanks. Yes, Michael Porter Jr. tonight, 7 of 10 for 21 points. And he had a really fast start. I mean, he didn't do much after the first quarter. I think he had 15 points in the first, half probably. And he was shooting very well. He didn't do much in the second half, but still 21 points on 7 of 10 shooting for him tonight. But to your point, he came into the series in the first 2 games coming in to tonight. He was averaging 5 points on, this is almost insane to believe. 5 points per game in the first 2 games for Michael Porter Jr. on 16% shooting from the field and 18% from the 3-point line. So just terrible for Michael Porter Jr. But beyond terrible. That guy's making $40 million a year. I don't care what the hell's wrong with his shoulder. I don't care what excuse. You're on the floor. You're getting minutes. You're making $40 million a year. 5 points per game on 18% is inexcusable. But he does show up tonight when they need him most with a big game. But thank you for your support here, Jordan C. And thank you, Petros TV, who is in to the lounge as well in the sponsorship area. Gary, what does Petros TV have for us?
Be careful what you wish for, Petros, because you're about to get it, because this is not even much of a case. Joker is 2 all time. Change my mind. Well, you asked for it, Petros TV.
Well, he's
better than Kobe.
I see a lot of it really. First of all, I do not have Jokic 2 all time. I think let me just make that glaringly obvious. I do have Jokic though flirting around a top 10 designation. I have him probably top third, somewhere 12, 13-ish right now. I think it's going to be hard to get him beyond, from an offensive standpoint. You can maybe make a case that he's like top 3 all-time, a top 3 all-time offensive player. And I will defend him, and I'm going to put a piece out ultimately, however far the Nuggets go, or if I have time in between, if they go far and I have a day or two in between where I'm not inundated with other games. I'm going to put a full piece together on how underrated of a defender Nikola Jokic is. I think he is a good defender. He's certainly not a terrible one, but he's not a great, all-time great defender. Like, my top 5 personally are great on both ends of the ball, like great. So I think you can make a case Jokic is top 3 offensively, an underrated defensive player. I think Jokic's ceiling is pretty much, to be totally fair, like Larry Bird and Magic Johnson. I think you can make a case that he can run both of those guys down and catch both of them. And they're right in my like 6 and 7 slots right now. So I can make a case Jokic can get near the top 5, but like it's gonna have to take something more extreme, more believable for me to try to crack him into the top 5. Because I do value the other side of the floor. I think though, like Larry Bird was also, to me, an underrated defender, while Magic just wasn't that good of a defender, in my opinion. And he was surrounded by a core of great defenders on his Lakers team, so he didn't really have to do much on that end. So like, if I'm not criticizing those guys for not being elite all-time defenders, and I can get them in my top 7, like I certainly can get Jokic there as well. All things depending, of course, considering what happens the rest of the way of his career. But to get him to, I just don't know, Petros TV. Like, I don't know what I would need to see. Probably I would need him to win like 4 titles with Jamal Murray as his second option to consider him probably up at the 2 spot. But he is offensively, he is probably like fringing on the most adept, well-rounded and dominant offensive players I've ever seen. Maybe not a high leverage, like Kobe and Jordan they could just absolutely break your will. They could just drop 50 on like 5 guys basically on the floor. So like, to me, like Kobe and Jordan will probably always be the best 2 offensive forces I've ever seen. But Jokic, in terms of his full court game, where he is such a clutch performer, typically, tonight was just an off night for him. He had a shot that he missed at the buzzer, but generally the guy is so clutch down the stretch and in clutch moments, and he has such a varied offensive attack. He's amazing in the paint. He's a 40+% 3-point shooter generally, and he is one of the best passers, I think, ever. Like, not just big man passers, one of the best passers ever. So from a total full court standpoint, you can start making a case for him being an elite, high-end, top 3 all-time offensive player, and maybe a top 10 all-time overall player in resume, in my opinion, but and a top 5 peak for sure, a top 5-year peak for sure. But top 2 all-time, Petros TV, I need more than what I've seen to this point for sure. I've got Gary, we've got someone in, HP Luna. I don't know if the chat knows this, but my best friend, who is, I don't want to wake her because she's slumbering ever so softly, and she's just dreaming about the Nuggets win tonight. She's a big Nuggets fan. My 11.5-pound Shih Tzu Luna. So HP Luna, I like that name, and I like your support, obviously, for sponsoring us here in the Scap Live After Dark Lounge, and I love your message to us, Mamba mentality. So I know HP Luna has got to be feeling my 2 posters here of Kobe and all of the other stuff. I've got all of the rookie. I've got a rookie card of Kobe over there as well as some figurines. So thank you very much, HP Luna, for supporting us here. And thank you for supporting the Black Mamba as well. We've got John in here, John Ratcliffe, who is a regular here on the Scap Live sponsorship area. So many thanks to you, John, for your continued support, and welcome back in. Gary, what does John have for us tonight?
Well, John, first off, I want to say I'm optimistic for Boston, believe it or not. I think they're going to come back and win this series. I just think they're the better team. I don't think they're going to continue to do what they've been doing and chuck up so many 3-point shots. If they do, then Scap would definitely have an all-time epic choke job video to make. All right. So he says, my roommate MJ got mad at me for saying you take Shea off the Thunder and they're still a playoff team, and said the Nuggets cast is just as good. Well, John, let us know when Jokic sits out a game and the Nuggets not only beat someone by, what was it, 30, 40, 50 points? Didn't they beat somebody by like 40 without SGA?
I don't know about that, but I will say this: they
20, Portland. They beat Portland.
But not only Shea, the entire starting five sat out, Gary. So like in that game against Portland,
the B team won by 20. The JV team,
correct.
Oh my God, that's
the
right.
entire starting five sat out in a game late season against Portland. The NBA investigated the Thunder.
Right, I remember.
Because for rules violations, because they sat 5 guys out with no true injuries, and then they still won that game by 20 points. And John, again, just have your roommate look up some scap attack videos, because if you look at the net rating with Jokic on and off the floor versus Shea on and off the floor, the Thunder are I believe they were a top 4 net rated team per 100 possessions without Shea. So they basically, with an average replacement level player, they would have won like 55 games probably this year if you just took Shea off the floor. Whereas the Denver Nuggets were a bottom 4 team per 100 possessions without Jokic. So a replacement level player for Jokic on the Nuggets would have resulted in them winning about 20 games. So your roommate's way off base here, and probably they need some scap attack in their life. So thank you for dropping the line though, and dropping us a sponsorship here in the Scap Live Lounge area. We do appreciate it. And Admon Vincent is another regular sponsor as well. So welcome to you as well. Welcome back. Gary, what does Admon have for us?
He says, experience versus youth. Jokic greater than SGA. Love the videos.
Yeah, Admon, thank you for your support and your kind support of us out here. I do appreciate that. You coming in here and also watching the videos, of course. Thank you. And I think, look, but I thought the Thunder were just so good. I thought they were like Boston last year, too big to fail. And I thought they at least got a little bit of the taste of what they needed to see last year. Like, aren't you supposed to at least take steps in this? Hypothetically speaking, let's say the Thunder are still too young to know how to win, because I have been a big proponent in the past of you need to learn how to lose before you can know how to win in the NBA. Essentially, like, you need to have the experience to go through the failures before you can come out the other end. But like, they had failures last year. They were the number 1 seed last year. They were the best team in the West last year. Shea finished second in MVP last year. Like, they choked against Dallas in the second round. Like, you're not supposed to get back into the second round a year later and choke again to another far inferior team like they're doing right now. So we'll see. It's still a long way from over. But Admon, the one thing you are definitely spot on here with this is Jokic is definitely better than SGA. And again, that's no knock on SGA. Jokic is just better than everyone. But thank you for the comment, and thank you for your kind support of us. We've got Sal's back in. Sal's, who is also another regular, a lot of recurring sponsors here in the Scap Live After Dark area. Many thanks to all of you guys out there. I appreciate the hell out of all of you. What does Sal's have for us, Gary?
This is actually very interesting. So we'd like to hear insight on this. Scapster, Jokic had a bad game, but the Nuggets were allowed to thrive because of the defensive gravity Jokic commands, which was actually the reason for his subpar game.
Which we were talking about this earlier, Sal's. If you are late to the lounge, yes, I was basically comparing like Jokic to Randy Moss, essentially, where Randy Moss was a great wide receiver in the NFL for several years. To me, the most lethal offensive weapon in NFL history, at least on the offensive side. You can maybe say Barry Sanders is in that same cut from that same cloth, but Jokic is so great, and he does command so much attention and so much focus that even when he doesn't score, he's even when he's not getting assists. I mean, the guy averaged a triple-double this year, so he's consistently near double-digit assists. But like even when he's not getting the assists, he's still getting the, so to speak, like hockey assists, where like his passes will lead to an easy shot, even if it's not leading directly to a basket. Because the guy just commands so much focus and puts such a strain on the opposing defense, even such a great defense as OK City is. He's still opening things up for the rest of his teammates, which is why, again, I give Jokic so much credit and I zap the credit from these teammates. Like even when they have great games, like by and large, all they're asked to do is make generally easy shots that Jokic is getting. Like Jokic is the one that is making miraculously difficult shots or getting just mobbed by 2-3 guys most of the time. So Sal's, I definitely agree with you, but I still, even though this is a historic defense, even though they have the 2 best net rated bigs on earth, the 2 best net rated players, period, in Isaiah Hartenstein and Chet Holmgren, both at the Thunder's disposal to throw at Nikola Jokic, as well as those pesky guards who are also great defenders, kind of giving support on the back end. Even with all of that, I still don't expect to see 8 of 25 and 0 of 10 from 3 from Nikola Jokic. Like the great Nikola Jokic. Like I just expect him, even in the face of all of this, continued and sustained hellacious defensive pressure that he takes on. I still expect him to not be quite that inefficient. But, we'll see. It's been a hell of a series to this point, and he's found a way to get it to this point where they're up 2-1. So, you just need to find 2 more somehow, some way. We'll see if it happens. But I agree, Sal's. Even in bad games, Nikola Jokic finds ways to make winning plays and just provide, winning potential for his teammates. And I am going to do something on his defensive play as well throughout the playoffs, because I think he's just playing his heart out on that end of the ball. He's not a tremendous rim protector. He doesn't average a ton of blocks, but the guy is great, I think, undervalued in space. And I think he actually is a better rim defender. I think he's a better defender at the rim, even though he doesn't have the gaudy block totals. I think he's a better defender at the rim than he's given credit for. And maybe I'm wrong, but I'm going to pour into the numbers and I'm going to do a deep dive and a really prolonged look at his defensive effort, particularly in these playoffs and what we've seen so far from the Nuggets. But thank you, Sal's, for coming in and for sponsoring us. And we've got Road King Thor, who is back in, who was in earlier, sponsoring us here. So many thanks for staying in the Scap Live Lounge here. Road King Thor. Gary, what does Road King have for us right now?
Scap, I fully agree with everything you said about the Nugget starters, and you're my favorite YouTuber. Keep calling out the LeJock sniffers.
Road King Thor, thank you so much for your support. I really do appreciate you and everybody else that's still out here. Still over 700 people here in the lounge. So I am always humbled to see the support, especially in these late nights. So many thanks for the kind words and for the sponsorship here in the Scap Live area. Thank you so much, Road King Thor. And next in we've got E back in. E, who is the Jokic hater, probably the Shea jock sniffer. What does E have for us here? And it's look at the new. He changes his avatar quite a bit. I think he changed it to me looking stupid. I had some stupid look on my face. I think is that Draymond Green strangling Rudy Gobert in his avatar now. E, what does E have to say? E, thank you for coming in and sponsoring us in the lounge area. Gary, what does E have to say? Probably some Jokic hate, I would imagine.
Yes, that's your MVP, huh? 0 for 10. I guess he's talking about from 3-point line. Denver is a super team.
E, if this was a super team, it would be the first one I've ever seen without a single All-Star or All-NBA player or All-NBA defensive player on it. Not just that, but literally only 2 guys have ever made an All-Star ever in their careers on this team outside of Jokic. DeAndre Jordan, who let's see what DeAndre Jordan did tonight, guys. DeAndre Jordan was a DNP, coach's decision. He did not play a single second of this game. So one of the 2 former All-Stars on this squad didn't even play. He's a fringe rotational player at best. And Russell Westbrook, Actually, this is going to be interesting. I do want to see exactly. I want to look something up exactly when it was that Russell Westbrook made his last All-Star appearance. And I can tell you that it was in 2019, 2020. So he was an All-Star and he was All-NBA third team. That was the year he played for Houston. That was the last year he's made it. So it's been 5 full years since Russ made an All-Star team. So if that is a super team, and then nobody else has ever even made an All-Star team. So if that is a super team, it's the first one I've ever seen in my lifetime that has just one All-Star on it. Let alone, typically when I think of All-Stars or super teams, I think of 3 All-NBA caliber players on one team. Jokic doesn't even have a second All-Star caliber player on this team. So thanks for coming in, E, as always. And as always, a heinous comment, a terrible take by you, but nothing that shouldn't surprise us or anybody else in the lounge right now at this point. That's pretty much what you bring to the table every night. So thank you, though, for being here still. I do appreciate it. Road King Thor back in again. Road King Thor has been a really active member here in the sponsorship area of the lounge tonight. So many thanks to you. Gary, what does Road King have for us this time?
Nuggets in 5 means Scap got to make a 10-minute video praising LeBaby oil. Actually, you could. As much as Scap and I don't like LeBron, we could easily make a 10-minute video highlighting some of his great moments of his career because he is a very talented player. No one's denying that.
Road King Thor, Gary, no, yeah. I must push back on this. If you want to have some kind of fear factor type thing or whatever, it's like shower me with like tarantulas or some shit on this live stream if they win in 5 or whatever. I'm down for something like that. What I'm not down for is prostituting myself out here, praising LeBaby oil, as you call him, because as LeBron let us know, there ain't no party like a Diddy party. I can't believe I said that on the live stream, but LeBron did say it. So, fair game, I feel like. But yeah. I will not be praising LeBron, certainly not in a 10-minute video, Road King Thor. So think up something else, damn it.
What my point was just that's how talented he is, that you could, not saying you would, but you could, but you've got much longer videos than 10 minutes based on all the negative things that he's done. And that's ultimately what has defined him. So what I'm saying is, as talented as he is, all the other negative stuff heavily outweighs it. And that's immense, is my point.
Fair. Yeah. I mean, there are praisable things. There's praiseworthy things. I just won't do them because there's enough people, damn it, out there doing it. And he doesn't deserve it from me, I don't think. I will be doing that video on him tomorrow, though, if I can ever get any sleep, about him not losing any sleep for losing in the first round of the playoffs this year.
Road King, Scap has already turned down $100 million not to wear LeBron jersey. So
I didn't say that, Gary, moderator. You're putting words in my mouth. If the live lounge area wants to bring me $100 million suitcase right now, I might get a LeBron tattoo. Okay, that's how far we go.
Scap, you just said you refuse to prostitute yourself out. You need to be consistent here.
Gary, I will prostitute myself out for $100 million. Okay, there's a fine line to this.
Clarity.
If there's a $100 million briefcase waiting for me, I will get a freaking LeBron's face on the body of a goat or some shit tattooed on my chest for $100 million. Okay, there's not much I wouldn't do for $100 million, but it's gonna take more than just some small thing is my point, Gary. Don't put words in my mouth though. And please, Scap Live Lounge, if you want to pony up $100 million, I'm here for you. Whatever you guys want to make me do, I'm down with. Tony DeVera, thank you very much for coming in and sponsoring the lounge here. I appreciate you. Gary, what does Tony have for us?
A defining trait of all-time greats is they can still hit big clutch buckets in games where they otherwise played like Jokic in overtime tonight.
Yeah, there is an old adage in sports. Great players aren't great necessarily all the time. They're great only when they need to be. And that certainly has been the case for most of the great players throughout the course of NBA history, other than LeBron James. Like, he's more often than not choking and flailing around when he has to be great, and he's great all the other times. So that's why I'm so critical of him. But Jokic, again, made winning plays tonight. He just made winning plays, and he also collapses the defense and strains them in ways that really no other player can do right now that we have in the league, even when he has a down shooting night like he did tonight. And he is playing through a lot of physicality, and he's not getting away. I don't think he's getting equal calls from the officials. I don't think they're allowing. Look, if you want to play one of my all-time favorite sports movies, Above the Rim, starring Leon and Tupac Shakur, and Dwayne Martin, I believe is the name of the young buck. But there's when the big game at the end is happening, and Leon comes back, and Leon, who's Tommy Shepard in the movie. So when Shep comes back at the end, and they're getting crushed in the first half, like all the guys are getting hurt. Tupac's team is like doing every dirty play in the book, hurts all the other guys on the other team basically, and then it completely turns around. And Tupac's, he's great no call ref. This is a man's game kind of. And then in the second half, when things turn around behind Tommy Shepard, then Tupac's complaining and whining for calls when the other coach on Shep's team is clapping like, great no call ref. This here's a man game. Like, that's what I want. I want equal and opposite play on both ends. If you want to bang the ever-loving hell out of Nikola Jokic all night, let him get his meat into you. Let him physical you around, pound you, throw elbows into you. Like, let it go both ways. Like, this has been completely, in my estimation, unfairly called the way of Jokic has been officiated in these first three games. We'll see if that keeps up in game 4. But I think that's factoring in getting Jokic out of his sorts as well, by the just complete inconsistency by the officiating. But great point, Tony. And thank you very much for coming in here and for sponsoring us. It was Pooh Bannons, not Pooh Bananas was the former sponsorship, but we do have Lester's banana now. And I'm sure that this one is bananas,
yes,
Gary, because there is a picture of a banana holding a banana peel in this guy's avatar. So what does Lester's banana have for us?
And thank goodness the avatar is censored, or, we'd be censored on YouTube here. All right. I'm not quite sure what this is, but evidently you have to eat it if the Nuggets win in 5. Scap, eat a OKC cap if Nuggets win in 5. Are you talking about a hat you wear on your head? So you got to wear a hat or eat a hat if the Nuggets win in 5.
I'll think about. I'll weigh that. I'll consider that. Lester's
Can he put it in a blender? Can he cut it up and put it in a blender at least, or is he? I mean, I don't know how you're going to eat a physical hat though.
I'll consider finding a way to do that. Lester's banana if they win. If this team wins in 5, I don't see that happening. Like I said, 6 maybe at best case. I think. But you know what? That would be an absolute insane display if somehow the Nuggets win next game on Sunday, find a way to get it to 3-1, and then Shea gets the MVP on probably Tuesday. I would think that game would be played on Tuesday then. And if Shea gets the MVP and they lose in 5 on the night he gets MVP, wow, man, I might eat a cap if that happens. I don't see it happening, but thank you for the suggestion, and thank you for the super chat, Lester. We do appreciate it. And we've got Karthik Shankar, I think, who started the party off tonight in the sponsorship area. I think Karthik was one of our first sponsors tonight. So, and there's some more. I see there's another one, Gary. Go ahead and read this. This is yet another LeBron suggestion. Go ahead and read this one from Karthik.
If Nuggets win in 5, Scat to do a full 1-hour LeBron appreciation video. Well, I like that idea to do a 1-hour LeBron video, but I don't think it would be an appreciation 1-hour video.
Karthik, this is the second positive LeBron video suggestion I've gotten if the Nuggets win in 5. I don't know. Maybe I would take it into consideration, but I'd have to really explain what I'm doing to my regular viewers who aren't in the lounge, because I think we've had like 1,100 people concurrently watching here at one point tonight. We still have 700 at this point, an hour and 24 minutes in, and now over 2:30 in the morning here at this point. So I'll see, I'll consider it, but I'd really have to lead into it some way, somehow, and explain to the other roughly 70 some thousand subscribers that I have, because otherwise they'll just be absolutely stupefied. I might lose like 20,000 subscribers if I just put out a LeBron positive video out of nowhere. So I would have to at least explain myself to them in some way. But thank you, Karthik, for coming back in and for supporting me. And next up, we have Gary Gunter, who really has I'm sorry, say it one more time.
Gray.
Oh, great. See, I'm just assuming too much here, Gary. Gray Gunter, thank you for yet again correcting my eyes here, that my tired, heavy eyes that are just so sleepless these days. Gray Gunter, who has no comment, no question, just wanted to bestow $10 upon us here in the Scap Live area. So many thanks, Gray, to you for coming in here and for supporting what we're doing here. I do really appreciate you. And we have 10x209, who is a repeat sponsor here as well for us. So welcome back in here. And thank you so much for the support. And Gary, what does 10x209 have for us?
Late nights. I'm from Slovenia. Games started at 4 a.m. for me. I believe so much in Denver, but gonna be tough. But so far, so good. We need game 4 badly.
10x, hello from Slovenia. Many people don't, everyone knows I'm a big Jokic guy. I am not Serbian. I have no Serbian connections, but my last name is Skapanak. I do my nationality is Slovakian. So hello from Slovenia to you, 10x209. Shout out and many thanks for being here in the live lunch. 4 a.m. start. So you're up even later than me. It's 2:39 a.m. for me here. So the game ended around 1 a.m. for me. So you could probably maybe just go to bed and sleep till 4, then get up. I just stay up all damn day. Then my best friend, the aforementioned little Luna, who I don't want to wake up, or I would show her, but she's just slumbering so nicely right now. She'll wake me up tomorrow around 7. So I've got to do some more. I've got to do a video probably on this game and that LeBron video I've been talking about. But 10x, I agree with you. We do need game 4 badly. I think I said earlier, I'm not sure if you were in the lounge at the time, but I said it. I believe it. I stand by it. Whoever wins game 4 wins the series, in my opinion. So we definitely do need it. Hopefully the Nuggets can muster another great team performance, or hell, maybe Jokic comes out in the face of this dug-in, hellacious, historical defense with these two exquisite big defenders, best two in the world right now, defensively, in Hartenstein and Chet. And maybe Jokic, just in the face of all of it, just puts down some masterpiece like he did in game 1. We'll have to wait and see. As I always say, the great thing about sports is we will see, and we'll see on Sunday, I believe 3:30 in the East here in the US of A. I'm not sure what that would equate to for you, 10x, but I know you, like me, will be watching. And next we have Xavier Dugard back in. Xavier back in again yet. He was here earlier with the sponsor. So Xavier, many thanks to you. Gary, what does Xavier have for us this time?
Can KD and LeBron go back to OKC in the Cavs to retire already? And what's more likely, Giannis stays, goes to the Lakers, Nuggets, Thunder, Heat, or Spurs?
Well, Xavier, great question. I'm with you. Let's get rid of both KD and LeBron. I've had enough of both of them, to be fair at this point. Not the biggest Curry fan either, as many of you know, but I'm ready for the new guard here. We've had the new guard. Like Giannis, speaking of your next part of the question, Giannis and Jokic have been the two best players, in my opinion, for 5 years. Like Giannis at like 2019 took over the best player in the NBA. And like 2 or 3 years after that, Jokic surpassed him. But Giannis has been right there with him, in my opinion. So like those two have been the best players in the league for like 5 years. Now we have other great players that are even younger than those two. Those two are both 30 years old only, though. But then we've got Shea, who's like 26, I think, this year. Ant Edwards, who's 23. Bunch of, Luka Doncic is 26. So a bunch of young, good players. Like I'm just ready for the next wave of players to inherit the league. Like get rid of these old guys that they're just holding on for God knows whatever reasons at this point, trying trying to steal one more cheap super team ring if they can get it. And as to your second question, Giannis, I think Giannis is gone, I think, in the summer. Of the teams you mentioned here, I'd say the Thunder or Spurs are the most likely. Houston would also be in the mix for me. I think the Thunder have the best package possible to provide. They have the most first-round picks. They have control of as many as 15 first-round picks between now and 2031, which is insanity. That a team this good has as many as 15 first-rounders in the next, 5 or 6 years. So they can give a package of, like 3 good young assets and they could keep Jalen Williams and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, trade like 2 or 3 assets and like 5 first-round picks. But I think the only way that can happen is if they fail to win the championship. But hey, they might be in that. If they somehow choke this series away and lose in the semis for a second year in a row against a much worse team that literally looked like they were maybe going to win one game or should have won one game in the first round. If somehow they choke this series, maybe Giannis does become a real option for the Thunder. Other than that, I think, yes, the Spurs, depending on what the Spurs, what happens in the draft lottery with those Spurs picks, the 2 first-round picks they have, 2 lottery picks that they're going to have, maybe they get in the mix too. And then Houston is a team to keep an eye on. The number 2 seed that lost in the first round, they're just one piece away, in my opinion. They have some good young assets as well, and they have a good amount of first-round picks in the next 5 years too. So keep an eye on those 3 teams, in my opinion. But great question, Xavier, and thanks for sponsoring us here in the lounge. Adam Francisco is in. Adam, what does Adam have for us? Thank you, Adam, for being here. And Gary, what does Adam have?
Which OKC player played like ass tonight?
Well, I mean, if you put a gun to my head, quite frankly, I mean, Isaiah Hartenstein was not very good. He got plenty of good looks around the basket. He was only 5 of 14 for 10 points. Lou Dort, not good. Lou Dort was certainly like tonight. Only 3 points for him on 1 of 6. And, quite frankly, Shai was not good. I've been saying that Jokic admittedly did not have a good offensive game, was not good from a shooting or an efficiency standpoint. But look, Shai was 1 of 6 from the 3-point line tonight. He had only 18 points on 7 of 22 shooting. So, Shai was a little assy as well tonight. It was, I don't think really anybody played a great game. You can really say on either team, I think Aaron Gordon has been fantastic in this postseason. So Aaron Gordon played, I think, a great game tonight. And Michael Porter Jr. also played a really good game tonight, at least early. He didn't do much in the second half, but whatever. You'll take the first half that he delivered to kind of keep them in it, to show up when no one else was there, kind of. But the guy who was playing at his best tonight was Jalen Williams, 32 points on 11 of 21. I think it went back and forth in this game. It was really anyone's game, just like game 1. I thought Oklahoma City was the better team overall, just like they were in game 1, just like they've been in all 3 games. But the Nuggets just find a way for the second time in 3 games. So great question, though. And Adam, I'll give you one more just to throw it out there. Thanks for being in here and for sponsoring us. We've got RGN Cal, who is a repeat member here in the lounge. So many thanks to you. Gary, what does RGN Cal have for us?
Thoughts on the 2 big lineup OKC threw at Joker?
Yeah, I said after game 1, last year's coach of the year, Dagnall, for the Oklahoma City Thunder, who is a incredibly talented coach and a great young coach. I think he's only like 40 years old, and he won coach of the year last year. And obviously, he had he led them to a historic season this year. But for whatever reason, I had no freaking idea what he was doing in game 1. Like the game that Jokic went off he was staggering their minutes primarily, Chet and Hartenstein. And why? Like he was putting one of them on the floor often in the second half with like 4 guards around him. Like, why? I mean, as good as those 2 guys are, Jokic is going to punish that. If you put just one of them on him, even with the great guards around helping on the back end, or pinching him maybe and doubling him late when on the catch, like Jokic is going to find a way to expose that strategy, which he did to spades in game one. And look, they've made the adjustments. You're getting a too big lineup in the last two games, and it's obviously it is clearly troubling Jokic. Like he had a poor, I think he was 6 of 16 in game two. Look, but you throw that game out kind of because the whole team played terribly. And then 8 of 25 tonight. So this is a guy, Jokic, who is always over 50%. You know, I mean, he's typically around 50, 55, 56% in the regular season. And like when he plays better defensive teams in the playoffs, generally the last couple of years, and they're more dialed into him, he dips a little bit, like to like 51% or so. But like to see him this far under 50% shooting in back-to-back games is definitely is shocking in some degree, but not surprising, because when you have those two guys, when you put those two guys out on the floor against Jokic, I mean, it's as good as you could possibly hope to have to defend him. And so they are doing a really good job in at least limiting his efficiency. So yeah, great question, RGN Cal. And thanks for coming in. Jolly Joshams, welcome. Jolly Joshams, another regular. Thanks for being here. Thanks for supporting us here in the lounge. And Gary, what does Jolly Joshams have tonight for us?
Just got home from work and missed the game. Can't believe the Nuggets won another one after that beatdown. What was the difference in this game?
Yeah, Jolly Joshams, and to all of you out there, if you are just joining us, we still have nearly 700 people here somehow. We were well over 1,000 there at the beginning, but we're about an hour and a half in now to the SCAP Live area lounge. So many thanks to those of you that are still here. If, like Jolly Joshams, though, you are just joining us, this was, a total team effort. How did they do it, though, Jolly Joshams? With defense. Like the team that has been repudiated all year, that has been disparaged all year for being a terrible defensive team, they actually are playing really well defensively in the playoffs. Last game notwithstanding, because last game was just abysmal on every front. But tonight, this team showed up with pride, they showed up with effort, and they showed up with it on the defensive side of the ball. And they played like their lives were on the line, because it was. Like I thought if they lost tonight, they weren't going to get a better look on Sunday. Probably a 5-game loss for them, a gentleman's sweep for them. So, but they showed up with pride, and also maybe a little bit of anger and disdain at the way they were humiliated in game two as well. They should have, because that was humiliating. But they showed up and they just played out so hard defensively. They held the Oklahoma City Thunder to 38.5% from the field. So under 40% shooting from the field for the Thunder. They shot 25% from the three-point line. Just a great team defensive effort by the Denver Nuggets. And they got just enough contributions from everybody else offensively. Jokic with 20, 16, and 6, but really off shooting night for him. But the core four, the big four guys on the Nuggets, the guys who have been together for years, that core championship caliber, those four guys from that 2023 championship run, Aaron Gordon, Michael Porter Jr., and Jamal Murray, all of them, all four of those guys with Jokic over 20 points. And it was mainly really just them. I mean, when you look at the rest of the team, other than those four, combined to score like 22 points or something like that. So it was mainly just those four gut checking it out on the offensive end, and the whole team playing balls out on defense, Jolly Joshams, and just a magical win. Just some kind of they got outplayed most of the game like they did in game one, but they just find a way for the second time in 3 games somehow to steal yet another game. It's crazy. But Jolly Joshams, thank you for joining us here on the SCAP Lounge, and thank you for sponsoring us here. I do appreciate you. We've got AMD in next. Gary, what does AMD have? AMD, thank you so much for sponsoring us here. What does AMD have, Gary?
Nuggets vibes are unparalleled. Western Conference Finals caliber round 1 and 2. Winning no-shot games like Monday in OKC, winning off 0.1 second dunks, Jokic off game, and they still win.
They certainly, AMD, look like a team of destiny right now. I hate to use that term. And in general, I don't like those kind of takes usually, but the unusual things that are happening on this run to this point, it is certainly looking like they have some kind of a mojo here, or some kind of a mystique surrounding this team this year on this run. I mean, you can remember, like, they stole game one against the Clippers. Like, they won that game. That was kind of like a miracle win in game one in overtime. Then that's not even factoring in that 1/10 of a second dunk that you mentioned by Aaron Gordon, which, they blow. The Nuggets were up 20 in that game, blow a 20-point lead, are down one late. Jokic brings them back with a series of clutch shots, then misses the game winner, but Aaron Gordon dunks it back in. I mean, then they get the full team effort in that series in game 5 to go up 3-2. And then now the 2 wins they've got in this round are just absolutely stunning and mind-boggling. And they're doing it against, look, the Clippers were the best team in the NBA for the last month, basically. And the Thunder have been the best team in the NBA ever, basically, for the regular season for most of the year. And so they're doing it against those 2 teams. Now, it's not going to get much easier because they're probably going to get Minnesota next if they somehow scrape 2 more wins out here, which I still am skeptical of. But if they do, Minnesota has beaten them in 6 consecutive games. So, it's not like they win this and then, oh boy, like they've cleared all the hurdles. Like they become favorites. I don't believe that, but it is starting to feel like, dare I say, a team of destiny. Thank you, AMD, for checking in. We've got Xavier Logistics, who is a repeat sponsor here in the lounge. So, Xavier, welcome back in, and thank you for the sponsorship. Gary, what does Xavier have for us tonight?
The Nuggets' loss to the Wolves last season was more about the having to beat the Lakers and avoid a whistling zebra stampede like Simba.
I don't know. I think I saw, look, in games 1 and 2, they looked so utterly outclassed and outmatched in that semis against the Timberwolves. They were at home, defending champions, riding high off of a gentleman's sweep of the Lakers, and got trampled in those first 2 games. They respond with winning games 3, 4, and 5 to get the 3-2 lead. And at that point, I was feeling pretty good. They got worked by 45 points. They lost by 45 points in game 6 last year in Minnesota to push them into a game 7. And then they were up 20 in the third quarter in that game at home in Denver, where they just totally ran out of gas. Jokic had, I think, 21 points in the second half of that game, and the rest of his team combined to score 16 in game 7 in the second half of last year's loss to Minnesota. So, because that team was just so much better. And Anthony Edwards was 6 of 24, by the way, in that game 7. In that game 7, Anthony Edwards scored 16 points on 6 of 24 on the road in Denver, and they still lost. So Minnesota just looks like a better team to me, and they've owned them this year. They beat them 4 times then this year after beating them in game 6 and 7 last season. So that's where they get the 6 straight wins from that I keep referencing. And the last game that they beat the Nuggets in, Jokic had a 60-point triple-double. So it just looks like they can't beat Minnesota. But I thought they wouldn't beat the Clippers, and I thought they absolutely couldn't beat the Thunder. And here we are with them as a 2-1 advantage right now. So, Xavier, as Kevin Garnett once famously said, anything is possible. It is. I'm not ruling anything out at this point. So I guess we'll see what Sunday has in store for us. But Adam is in next. I'm sorry, Adama. Adama, I would say, is in. Thank you so much for coming in and sponsoring the lounge here. I do appreciate you. And what do we have here, Gary, from this very kind super chat, and I think some very kind words for us as well.
Thanks for staying up late. Better than ESPN tonight.
I appreciate that. I appreciate all of you guys for being here and hanging out with us in the lounge in the post game after that miraculous win. And we do, of course, if you are here just joining us, the Cavaliers also had a dominant 22-point road win to get back into that series after they dropped the first 2 shorthanded at home in that series. They get all 3 of their players back tonight in Garland, Mobley, and Hunter, and they get the big win. And yeah, I just thought I'd come on here and talk about these games with you guys. And I am very humbled and thankful for you suggesting that we are better than ESPN. And thank you for the sponsorship. I certainly do appreciate that as well. And RGN Cal 4 is back in for another sponsorship here. What does RGN Cal 4 have for us, Gary?
I think he makes a very valid point here. If Kobe doesn't catch those charges, does he A, become the real face of the league during the 2000s, B, win more MVPs, and rank higher in GOAT debates? I think so.
Yeah, I don't typically discuss the allegations in Eagle County, Colorado, but I think it undeniably played a factor. But see, here's the thing. It also coincided with the next summer. So that was in 2003, I believe, that those charges happened. Then in the following summer, in 2004, the Lakers lost to the Pistons in what was it was really just a terrible look for Shaq and Kobe. And then Kobe then forces Shaq and Phil Jackson out of town. So the consensus was basically like, not even looking at those charges. The consensus of Kobe Bryant at the time, which I'm not denying that the allegations in Eagle County, Colorado might have played a factor in diminishing Kobe by the mass media. But I think just as impactful for the media, or just as much of a reason to hate on Kobe, was the fact that he was a selfish ball hog that didn't care about winning and just cared about his own stats. And that's why he forced Shaquille O'Neal and Phil Jackson out of town. I think most of the media side with Shaq and their little riff. So I think all of those things probably played a factor in diminishing Kobe and depreciating him for a quick chunk of time in like 04, 05, 06. And it was right when like the Lakers were going out in the first round and people were essentially like, oh, look, selfish ball hog Kobe, losing in the first round after forcing these guys out. Then LeBron came in, and LeBron was like the chosen one, savior, media darling. So then they had to start depreciating Kobe because of their savior, LeBron. And we can't have Kobe be recognized as the best player that he was because now LeBron's there. So it was just bad timing altogether for Kobe. In addition to him playing with Shaq and sharing the spotlight for the first 8 years, I think, and I've talked about these what ifs, and I want to do these what ifs at some point. I've talked about it. I one of the craziest what ifs for me is like, what if Kobe never got traded from Charlotte on draft night to the Lakers and just played out his whole career in Charlotte? I think Kobe still would have won like 3 or 4 rings because he would have been playing in a putrid Eastern Conference. You just get him one viable, like all-star caliber player, like a Pau Gasol player, and Kobe's in the finals for like 10 straight years. Like, think about LeBron dominated that East. The scrub that LeBron is, the mentally soft, weak guy that he is. Think about if Kobe was in that Eastern Conference. Like, it would have been Kobe beating on LeBron in the East and going to the finals like 8, 9, 10 times. Kobe would have won at least 3 or 4 of those. So Kobe still would have 3 or 4 rings. He would have probably had I'd say him and MJ would be the 2 highest scoring point per game players in league history. And I think he would have been the highest. I think he would have been the scoring crown. I think he would have been the all-time scoring leader over Kareem and over still LeBron right now if Kobe had not gotten traded from Charlotte. So I think really just Kobe's whole career was a series of things which situationally just resulted in him not getting as much credit as he should have had when he was playing, and having the media hate him to such a degree that they tried to systematically steal MVPs from him because they wanted then to depreciate his legacy moving forward, which it obviously has worked to some degree, which is one of the reasons why I created this channel, was to push back and fight against it. But RGN Cal, great question, and thank you for the sponsorship. We've got Frederick Delius in next. Thank you so much, Frederick, for coming in here to the lounge and for being here with us. We're now 3 a.m. on the East Coast. Guys, I am eventually going to have to go get to work here and maybe at some point get to sleep. But I do appreciate you guys all being here. But I just noticed it was 3 a.m. here. What does Frederick have for us, Gary?
I'm a Spurs fan, and I remember that Spurs versus Nuggets playoffs back in 2019. First time I saw Joker. Love your videos.
Yeah, thank you very much, Frederick. I do appreciate you. Gary, moderator Gary here is a big Spurs fan as well. And yeah, I've been watching Jokic closely for years, and I really do I've come to love the guy's game. I kind of made fun of him a little bit at the beginning of his career. Wasn't sure those MVPs were quite deserving, the first one or two, but the guys totally flipped me and turned me, kind of like Tom Brady. I kind of equate Jokic to Brady because I was a Brady hater for like the first decade of Tom Brady's career. Now he's like one of my 3 favorite athletes of all time, because greatness has a way of doing that, right, Frederick? So thank you, and thank you for supporting me on the video side as well. I do appreciate that. But yeah, greatness has a way of forcing your respect. That's why, like, in 20 plus years, LeBron has not. I have never respected LeBron in 20 years. Like, he just keeps doing things to make me not respect him. But true greatness to me has a way to force you into respect, which is why, like, Jokic is just truly great in my opinion. So while I didn't start as a huge fan or supporter of his, he made me into that. So just like the great Tom Brady. Now speaking of haters though, and speaking of people that hate Jokic, we've got E back in. Gary, what does E have for us this time?
Jokic bailed out by Aaron Gordon again. Missed the game winner.
Yeah, I mean, it was a tough turnaround shot. A tough corner, fall away, fade away by Jokic in the corner. Almost went in. It was dancing around the rim. I thought he was going to make that. But again, tremendous defense on that final shot. And they came out and responded. Jokic was good in overtime though, and they hit him with an 11-2 run in overtime to snap their backs and take that game and go up 2-1. I certainly wouldn't say that he was bailed out though. Thanks though, E, for yet another terrible comment, but another super chat here to sponsor us. I do appreciate you, even though your takes are abysmal. We've got Saul's back in, Sal's back in, who has been in all night sponsoring us. So many thank you for this very kind donation to the lounge. Gary, what do we have here?
Scat, when talking all-time greats, you can talk accolades, awards, chips, absolute peaks, sustained primes, actual play minus accolades because of award politics, chips equal having good teammates, and what ifs, Rose and Sabonis.
Yeah, I guess I don't know if this is really much of a question or a comment, but it's a great comment, honestly, by Sal. Thank you so much for dropping this comment, not just because it's a very generous donation as well, but this is a great point. Like, he basically laid out like all of the things that you can factor in, and really measuring these all-time great players and like determining what your list is, or what your all-time ranking is or whatever, really comes down to weighing all of these things that Sal's laid out. Like it's in the eye of the beholder, which I always say, like, what is most important to you of this list of things? And of course, yes, there always is in life and in sports, what if, the what ifs, the would have, could haves, and Sal's named just a few in Sabonis and Rose here, but there's so many, there's almost too many to even count. Like Grant Hill, Penny Hardaway, Bill Walton, Tracy McGrady, Yao Ming. Like, there is so many, Brandon Roy. There's just so many great what ifs, and then just situational what ifs, throughout, like, what if, like one game goes one way or different. Like, what if Aaron Gordon's shot doesn't go in at the end of game one? Like, the Nuggets go down 0-1, they get dusted off the court in game two. Like, this is probably a different series, but there's just so many things, bounces of the ball and breaks of the game. I'm a big movie buff, as I continue to mention on this channel, but one of my all-time favorite, it's a good sports movie. I don't know if I would put it in my upper echelon sports movies, but I love the movie. But the speech is one of the great speeches in any sport ever, or in any sports movie ever, in any movie ever. The Al Pacino 6 inches in front of your face speech in Any Given Sunday. The inches we need are all around us. They're in every break of the game, every snap, every minute. And that, it's just so true and so applicable. And that factors into the what ifs as well. Like just these little breaks of the game, these situational little things that look so superfluous at the time or mundane, but they are just so impactful ultimately to getting you to the final destination. And they're all of sports history is littered with those what ifs as well. So great point, great message, Sals, and thank you. We've got Jolly Joshams back in. Gary, what does Jolly Joshams have for us?
Well, we've got an offer. Send that over in writing, and we will definitely get that underway. And your moderator gets a 1% commission. So Jolly Joshams is legally binding, sending a contract to Scap Attack. $100 million offer to get chosen one on your back that will be completed sometime next week, and we'll do the live stream next weekend. And
Jolly Joshams sold. You are. Yeah. I will do it. I will get chosen one tattooed on my back for 100 mil. Sold. Go ahead and complete the wire, and I'm totally down on that. I'll be waiting. I'll be checking, refreshing my bank account. GGT 999, regular sponsor here to the lounge. Many thanks. Welcome in to the lounge area again, the sponsorship area, GGT 999. Thank you very much, Gary. What do they have for us here?
Why is LeBron celebrated for the Boston series in 2012 when Kobe beat them with Powell as his running mate, when LeBron had Wade and Bosh, who were both better?
GGT 999, is that a rhetorical question? I don't know, because I've been asking that my damn self for like 10 years, and I've asked it a plethora of times on my channel in various video forms. Yeah, that's a great point. Like, and many people would have you believe that LeBron built his Miami super team because, well, Boston had a super team too. So like he needed it, but that's not, according to D Wade has said this multiple times on record, that actually Wade and LeBron first contacted each other and decided to team up because Kobe was the one that was distancing himself from them and was too good. So really it was all about Kobe, not the Boston Big Three. But yeah, great point. Like Kobe beat that team in the championship with just Pau Gasol and like Lamar Odom. Whereas, LeBron needed two perennial all-stars and Hall of Famers and a top 75 all-time player in Dwayne Wade. So great point, GGT 999, and many thanks for sponsoring us here in the lounge. We've got Walter Armando in. I like that name, Walter. Many thanks to you. I don't recognize the name, so thank you so much for coming in and sponsoring the lounge here. I do appreciate it. And Gary, what does Walter have for us?
Love your video, Scap. Number one video, your debate with Gilbert Arenas.
Thank you so much, Walter, for watching that. That was a very lengthy video, so I appreciate you watching that and for supporting me and watching those videos and being here in the lounge as well. Walter, I couldn't be more thankful to you and everybody else that is here in the lounge area, especially still, man, nearly 600 people in the lounge now as we creep near our 2-hour mark at 3 a.m. now. So thank you, Walter, and thank you, everybody else. We've got Franco the Italian, or, it's Franco the Italian is in. Thank you so much. Franco is in from the UK. Welcome in from the UK, Franco, and thank you for being in the lounge here and for supporting us. Gary, what does Franco have for us?
Hi from the UK, guys. That Nuggets whistle, though, nasty work. Love the show, guys.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to look in at it. I'll have to do some investigative journalism. I'm hearing about, I don't know. Is this like some kind of is this referencing the officiating tonight that maybe that the Nuggets are getting help from the refs? Because I certainly didn't see it that way. The free throw discrepancy was 2. The Nuggets shot 2 more free throws, 24 total to 22. And like I said, Jokic has just been getting absolutely battered in this entire series. He's getting, no calls whatsoever. He fouled out in the third quarter of the last game. He had 5 early in the fourth of game 1, and he's just getting absolutely beat to shit every single game. So I'm not sure what people are talking about the Nuggets maybe getting. I don't know if that's what Franco is insinuating here or not, but I feel that's the way I'm interpreting it. So Franco, if that is in fact, I'll dig back into the tape and see what you guys are looking at. But personally, I am not seeing any kind of an advantage whatsoever from that standpoint. But thank you so much, Franco, for coming in. Hi in the UK. Hello and welcome in. And I appreciate you sponsoring us and shouting us out here in the lounge. We've got Mand BGN in next. What does Mand have for us, Gary? And Mand, thank you so much for being in here and for supporting us in the lounge area.
Any words for Joker's fourth quarter performance in this game? Smiley face.
I mean, he didn't play a great game from a shooting standpoint. He obviously, I think I've been pretty transparent with that. We just ticked over 2 hours now here in the lounge following the Nuggets' miraculous 113-104 win in overtime. I mean, I've been pretty transparent from the very beginning saying, this is one of the worst games I've seen Jokic play from an offensive standpoint, from an efficiency standpoint. This guy is probably the most efficient player I've ever seen, high leverage, high end offensive player I've ever seen. And he obviously was not that tonight. He's playing against just a brutal, dug in and highly capable team. One of the really, when you look at the defense per league averages, one of the best defenses in league history, probably right there with the Celtics of this century, the Garnett, the 08 Celtics, one of the best 2 defenses probably this century that I've seen. And they've got 2 really good rated bigs, 2 great defenders in Hartenstein and Holmgren, and they've gotten into Jokic and they're playing physical with him. The officials are allowing it, and it is what it is. Like he wasn't great offensively, especially from an efficiency standpoint tonight, but he's making winning plays. He's straining the defense. He's collapsing them. He's lifting his teammates. He's making it more possible that they could thrive by taking on all of the pressures that he is. And he's playing underrated defense. And he was really good in the overtime. Like he missed a very difficult contested shot for the win. I thought it looked like it was going into me when it left his hand. Missed it, but they came out and they absolutely dominated in the overtime, and he was good in the overtime. So, man, BGN, I don't know if this was I got you kind of a moment or something that you're trying to aha me or try to get me to say negative things. Like I don't typically hide and say things that are, I'm not going to lie about what I'm seeing. It might take me a day to collect myself and say it, or put it into words properly. But that wasn't the case here. I came on right in the aftermath of that game. So, and I was pretty transparent and speaking about Jokic from the beginning, but we'll see. They are not the better team. They certainly have not been the better team in this series. They have just found a way though to steal these wins, steal these games. And I'm sorry, I just saw another comment came in from Franco, so I just want to get to Franco's comment here. Franco, thank you for coming back in and for re-clarifying. Gary, can you read Franco's clarification? And just so Franco, this one, I'm going to put this one up first, talking about the Nuggets whistle, though, nasty work. I thought maybe Franco was inferring that they were getting the benefit of the call, getting the benefit of the whistle. But Franco is back in with some clarification. Gary, what does Franco have for us?
Yeah, I thought he was talking about they were getting screwed by the refs, because I remember in like the first 2 minutes when Aaron Gordon looked like he was clearly fouled and they didn't call it. And then Aaron Gordon was complaining to the refs, and I thought that's what he's referring to. And go ahead and clarify. He says, sorry, guys, meant Nuggets didn't get the whistle.
Right. So Franco was seeing the same thing as you are, really the same thing that I am. Like to me, the Nuggets are actually getting screwed in this series so far based on the officiating. Like Jokic in the first 2 games was mired in foul issues. Like I said, 11 fouls in the first 2 games, including fouling out. Like I can't remember a great player fouling out in the third quarter of a playoff game, especially someone as clever as Nikola Jokic. Like, that was crazy to see the way he was being officiated in the first two games. And while he wasn't picking up a lot of offensive fouls tonight like he was in the first two games, he was still getting absolutely bombarded and beat the hell on the offensive side tonight, and not getting a whole lot of calls. And then, sure, like you mentioned, the Gordon thing. So Franco is seeing it the same way both of us are seeing it, Gary. That actually the Nuggets are not getting the benefit of the call. That the Thunder, not only are the Thunder the far superior team here in this series, they are also getting the benefit of the officiating, and they are still somehow, some way choking away this series. They're down 2-1. Again, we'll see what Sunday holds in store for us at 3:30 on the East Coast here in the US of A. So we'll definitely be watching that game. But guys, for tonight, we just clicked over the 2-hour mark here in the lounge. It is 3:18 in the AM where I am at, and I would like to do probably a video on this. And I do have that big LeBron video I've been teasing as well coming up. So I need to work on both of those things. Therefore, we still have 563 people here in the lounge, which is absolutely mind-boggling. I am so blown away and just so thankful for all of your guys' support and for being here. And just as I was getting ready to sign off and say goodnight to all of you, I get a stream alert super chat in. So I will, because I am so quite frankly surprised and thankful and humbled by the amount of support you guys are giving me in through these super chats. I just can't thank you guys enough for your contributions. It really is humbling. So I will never sign off of a live stream when I have a super chat that I see that has popped up, even though I was just getting ready to say goodnight. So I want to spot shadow stream alert, because stream alert has come in here as I was saying goodnight to you guys with the super chat. So Gary, what does stream alert have for us?
Coming up next, Scott Foster, Tony, and Mark Davis. Attack of the referees.
I think Stream Alert is insinuating that we're going to get some rigging or something, maybe even going on down the road here in the remainder of this series. So hopefully not. Hopefully things even out from a call standpoint into the next game. We'll see. It was I've been saying it all night. I think the team that wins the next game, which is on Sunday, Mother's Day at 3:30 on the East, I've been saying the winner of that will ultimately win this series. So it's in Denver. So we'll see. They've been giving such a great team effort, such a gritty and inspiring effort on both sides of the ball to this point, minus of course that game 2 bludgeoning. But by and large in these playoffs, the whole team has been playing well. By and large in support of Jokic, and also defensively, the whole team is playing really, really good defensively, I think. So we'll see. I'm interested to see what the line is in that game. Quite frankly, I don't talk about betting lines much here, but I do always have a pulse of the betting market. I, in my past, was an avid sports gambler. The line was 9.5 on game 1 in favor of the Thunder were favored. And it was 11.5 by tip-off in game 2. And it was 5.5 open tonight. By tip-off, it was 6.5. So the Thunder were favored in game 3 on the road tonight by 6.5 points. So I'm interested to see now that the Thunder have somehow gut-checked 2 wins out. Will they get any credit, any respect whatsoever by the Sharps? Will they actually be favored in the game for a change in the series? I'm not banking on it, because again, the importance of that series, I think the winner of that series or of that game is going to win the series. So I would be surprised if it's not probably an 8 or 9 point line, quite frankly, but we'll see how that opens, guys. But again, we are now a little bit over 2 hours, and I need to get out of here because I need to do some work and get to bed. But again, still over 500 people. Obviously, you guys still care to hear something of what I'm saying and be here and support me, at this late, ridiculous hour of the night. So I am absolutely so humbled and thankful for all of you guys for being here. And for moderator Gary, yet again, thank you so much for turning up and turning out for us and standing by on these late nights. It's great to have you on again in the lounge with me here. So many thanks to you. We'll keep an eye on the games tomorrow. I don't know what tomorrow holds. I'm never too committed to doing these things. It's usually a play it by ear kind of thing, day by day. But possibly, guys, stay tuned for maybe another entry of the SCAP Live After Dark tomorrow night. If not, perhaps I'll see you on Sunday. And otherwise, guys, you can always find me on the video side of my channel here. You know that I'll always be pumping those out. So look forward to hopefully a Nuggets video by sometime tomorrow morning, and then that LeBron video that I really want to talk about, either coming up tomorrow in the afternoon at some point, or maybe Sunday afternoon, guys. But everyone that's still here on the live, everyone that has joined us throughout the night on the live, and Gary, many thanks to all of you guys. Congratulations to the Cavaliers tonight for getting back in their series, and congratulations to the Denver Nuggets for yet another just gritty and unbelievable win. And we will see you sometime probably tomorrow or the next day. Until then, though, guys, have a good night.